Welcome to LOA Today. I'm Walt Eason here with Alyx King and Daniel Mangana. This is your daily dose of happy. We're so happy you decided to join us today. We're so happy that Alyx is back in the chair in front of the camera, behind the microphone, and looking like your old self again. Wow, we've been missing you, but we're glad that you're back. How are you feeling? You doing good?
I'm doing all right.
That's
I'm
good.
hanging in there.
Yeah, you're going through an awful lot there, kiddo.
Mhm.
But we're glad to see your smiling face. And to be perfectly honest, I think Dan's kind of been in a bit of a, how do I say it? He's been kind of missing supernatural discussions. Let's put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of
That's all you're good for,
withdrawal.
mate. That's all you're good for. So
Yeah, you can always count on Dan to build up your ego. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
what I do, guys, it's what I do.
Hey, you're not the only one, actually. I got a little bit of a, I can't really call it an ego beating, but it could have been something that I would have taken that way if I wanted to, because I had a really great kind of hardcore discussion with a guy who's been on the speaking circuit for the past 20 years. And he
Mhm.
gave me the real dope on what's going on in the speaker world. And boy, did he fill in some gaps that I was desperately missing. Bottom line is that most of my approach I need to change because with this new information, like,
Everything you're doing it wrong.
well, not doing it wrong, I just wasn't going to get anywhere. Now I understand why. And oh my goodness. And he had some really great ideas to share too. So, it was good. I mean, literally right now, today, he's my hero, to be perfectly honest. His name's Judson,
wow.
and he's just fabulous. He is my hero. But oh boy, it was like having a bucket of cold water poured on top of your head. I mean, it was, whoa.
That can be refreshing in the heat.
It can, yeah. Unfortunately, it's winter here, but understandably, it can be refreshing.
It's a warm day today, though.
It is. You're right. Fortunately, it is a warm day. In fact, I just got back from a beautiful nature walk. Absolutely gorgeous out.
Yeah, I'm going for a walk after this.
Are you? Good. Yeah, this is a good day to get out. Tomorrow's going to be beautiful too. Yeah, It's really, really nice. Yeah, all the snow's on the path has melted. Like it's gone. Oh my God, unbelievable. And we had like a foot and a half there, and like boom, there it goes. Who waved the magic wand?
A couple of days of 50-degree weather. That's all you need.
That'll do it. Yeah. So anyway, I figured I was going to be, I wasn't sure that we'd be including you today. So I was really glad to see that your face was there. But in case you weren't, I was going to go into talking about, how you deal with adversities when it comes to a career. But maybe we talk about adversities regarding health and regarding other stuff that goes on in life too, because you've been dealing with quite a few adversities lately.
Just
I mean, lots of practice you've been getting.
Yeah.
I mean, have you learned anything from it? Have you picked up any tips that you can pass along?
I've come to the conclusion to settle my anxiety that it is what it is, and that's all it's going to be. There's nothing I can do to control it.
So basically just acceptance.
Acceptance, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Acceptance is a good place to be. It's a whole lot better than...
It only works for a few minutes.
But it's better than anxiety.
There's more anxiety.
Well, that just means you have to spend more time on the acceptance, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anxiety is definitely, it's interesting that anxiety is what you're dealing with. I mean, I don't mean to, make light of it because obviously it's a serious thing that you're going through. But anxiety is, everything that I'm reading is telling me this is like the thing throughout society. I mean, I've been looking at it in terms of college students because that's who I've been trying to reach out to for speaking engagements. But the more research that I do, the more I find it's everywhere. I mean, it's all age groups. We're talking like 3 to 93. I mean, it's just it's incredible how widespread, how pervasive anxiety is. And I guess I can't say I'm really surprised. We've been dealing with COVID. We went through all the political stuff last year. There's been the race stuff. There's been the economy. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to be anxious about.
Yeah.
But I'm just really grasping through some of the research I've been doing just how pervasive it is. It is all over the place. So anything that we do individually to get ourselves into that better place, to be accepting. I mean, acceptance is certainly a good step to take. There are other steps you can take in terms of pivoting, but anything we do is going to have major ripples. And Dan, we've talked about that a lot, right? The ripple effect when you when you're focusing on your stuff in a way that's helpful to you, you're helping somebody else along the way. And
Mm-hmm.
similarly, when somebody else is focusing, they're helping you along the way. I mean, it has a double ripple effect.
Me personally, I think I define anxiety as running to the future that you don't want and bringing the emotional charge of that to your present moment.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. So when I go off on one and carry go off on one, start deciding what the future is going to look like, get crappy opinion about it, and then come back to my senses and like, I'm going to respond right now to an imaginary future that hasn't happened yet. I'm going to get worked up about it. So when I start to get really anxious, like debilitatingly anxious, I just remind myself that I've literally just ruined my present moment with a future that I've completely made up in my head.
It's a great reminder.
And that makes me laugh.
Well, it
and
all sounds stupid when you say it.
It sounds stupid, right?
It does.
And then it becomes a lot more difficult. Sorry, this is round the wrong way. It becomes a lot more difficult for me to take myself seriously with something that's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
So why do we have so much trouble noticing it? I mean, you notice it, obviously.
But I've spent nearly 20 years developing a level of self-awareness that means that I can do that.
Yeah. And
I didn't wake up this morning, just call me Captain Self-Aware. Be gone with you. That's not how it happened. But people, like, they'll spend a week watching rampages in the morning, be like, why is my anxiety still here? Maybe because you haven't learned a level of self-awareness that's going to empower you to deal with it.
I love the way Dan just brings it right down to the root level. He doesn't mess around with all the side issues. He's just right there. Bang, done.
Just ridiculous. I always find, like, especially when people like try to have discussions with me that make no sense, I'm just like, they don't even know what they're talking about. So why am I going to get myself wound up?
Yeah, but at least you can see that it doesn't make any sense. A lot of people will try to make sense out of this thing that doesn't make sense.
That took time, though. That took time, Mr. Wall. And I sometimes get caught out. I had someone on my coaching call the other day, and he was like, everything's really cool except for this one thing. Like, I'm on the cusp of getting past my stuff with like a particular family member. I was like, so you're literally on the cusp and staying there on account of you waiting for someone to do something that's never going to happen.
Wow.
It's never going to happen. So you've literally just said out loud, I'm going to hold myself captive to this imaginary ideal of someone coming around that is never going to come around. And I'm just like, all right, mate, whatever. It's up to you. It'd be better if you didn't, but...
Well, I can understand why somebody would want to do that. I think the challenge, though, becomes doing that and then what I call the keeping score aspect, checking to see if it worked. You know, if you just like the idea of somebody coming around without attaching anything to an outcome, like, you know, expecting it to happen in some way and getting disappointed if it doesn't happen, you just like the idea of it. That's not a bad thought to have. That's okay. But we don't tend to stop there, do we? We tend to also attach the outcome, like, oh, well, you know, I really did want to intend this to actually turn out the way I wanted to. What's wrong with you, universe? You're not delivering the goods here.
It's like, I think sometimes we lose sight of the fact that we don't have consciously, it's physically impossible consciously to keep up with the processing power of the unconscious mind.
Right.
Physically impossible. It operates at too fast a pace, 10,000 to 10 million times the speed of the conscious mind.
Damn.
So you think that you're going to be able to go toe to toe with the unconscious, having a dalliance around an idea, and it's not going to go off on one. It's going to go off on a tangent because it's just too fast. It's too fast. So I just don't get in the ring. I just don't get in the ring. I'm just like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm going to do some, you know, some skipping rope, maybe mess around with the bag, speedball. I like, it's okay. And I think sometimes
Ooh, we lost your mic. Your mic just went blip. Don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Oh, you tap something and then all of a
I
sudden the
touched
mic
absolutely nothing.
up and
Oh,
you just
and
got
it's back.
back.
Yeah, it started to do that. It just goes on my screen. It's on, it's off, it's on, it's off, it's on, it's off. Can't take the real. This mic can't take the real. That's what it is.
Exactly what it is.
What did I say? I don't remember what I was saying.
Well, while you're trying to remember what you were saying, I'll just go back to what I heard of what you were saying that I thought was really on point. Because essentially what you're talking about is somebody who is trying to change reality into a reality they would prefer, and then getting hung up when it doesn't actually change the way they want to change to in the time frame they had in mind. And what you're basically saying is, why are you even focused there? What's the point? what are you hoping to accomplish?
Work. Oh, that's what I was going to say. We're getting hung up on just accepting the limits of being mortal.
Mhm.
Like, there's nothing wrong with it. There's something. In fact, the stream would remind us that that's the beauty of the experience of having a human experience, that we're not going to be switched on all the time. Sometimes we're going to have a bad day. Sometimes we're going to be anxious. Sometimes we're going to be depressed, and sometimes we're going to be happy. But overall, it's the level of charge that we attach to those waves.
Yes,
Is just enjoying the whole experience for what it is, human experience.
that's true. That's exactly right. The other thing that you mentioned that was quite on point, I thought, was the speed of the unconscious mind and trying to go up against that speed, which is kind of an odd thing to do, because really it's just so much easier to just reprogram rather than trying to keep up or fight it in some way. Just put it in your favor rather than try to go 10 rounds with it.
Yeah, but it's easier to complain about it and then try and fight and struggle with it and then blame someone else for the thing of it, rather than actually just accepting the responsibility of stepping up and doing something about it.
Well, it's certainly more common. Is it really easier? I'm not so sure it's easier. I mean, there's a lot of people who put a lot of work in on that,
I wouldn't say it's easier. I'd say it's what we're used to.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
What was me?
Dan's having a meltdown. On behalf of all of his unhappy clients.
Like, just pucker up and stop it. Just get over it.
Just cut it out all the way.
Just stop it. Stop. What's that video? I've got this problem. Stop. Have you seen that sketch?
I have not.
Oh, there's like a woman, she goes into like this doctor's office and she's like, yes, doctor, I've got this. And every time she keeps talking, he just goes, stop. And that's his therapy.
That's the therapy. Oh, geez.
Stop. She goes, but stop. Yeah.
That's probably effective, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
At the very least, you'll leave laughing.
Yeah, at the very least, yeah.
Or you'll just hear stop perpetually in your mind.
You're right.
Like, stop.
Oh gosh.
So how can I help you, Mr. Patient? Well, I have stop PTSD and it's driving me crazy.
Post-traumatic stop disorder.
Oh gosh.
See, this is what we missed. This is the energy you bring, Alyx. You realize this.
Is it me? Oh, thanks, guys.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you're bringing out the best humor in Dan right now. It's really great.
Agreed.
All right, so let's go back to the A word again, the anxiety topic.
Ooh, the anxiety of it all.
I actually had a topic in mind, but I'm too anxious to bring it up. Anxiety.
But I'm from.
No, seriously, anxiety. I was serious when I said earlier that I was amazed at just how pervasive it has become.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the one, I guess it's not really a red flag, it's a white flag. It's like there's an improvement that is happening in just the last few months, and I've commented on that lately, that it's like the country and maybe the world took a collective breath, and so all of a sudden there's less anxiety than there was. But still, it's still there, I guess is what I'm saying. It's still, people are still dealing with it.
I would say there's a lot more resources now due to what we're going through currently. you can text your therapist now. You can do so many more things. And there's websites out there and apps and tools of things that you can do and take care of yourself. Self-care apps. There's all kinds of stuff. So I wouldn't say that everyone took a collective breath. I think we're better handling it because we have resources.
Okay. Well, the resources have been around for a while. I was thinking about just in the last couple of months, but yeah, okay. You mentioned apps. I have to admit, I've never tried the self-help apps, I guess I would call them. I
like
guess
that.
I guess you've tried them. I mean, are they any good? Do they
I haven't
work?
tried them. I've just seen all the commercials.
You just seen them. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already got my tools in place.
Oh, well, that much I knew. But the
Yeah.
question was, is it worth it? Because you're suggesting that people are using these apps and the apps are helping them. So I'm wondering, does it really help?
Well, in a world where we can't quite get to our therapist right now, or you can't, there's so much going on that there's no one taking new patients. These apps are, where you can talk to a therapist through an app. It's helpful.
Okay.
Plus,
Yeah.
a lot of people, I'm not going to say people, I'm going to say of the younger variety aren't good with talking about their feelings with random people, but texting, they'll text all day.
Well, I don't think there's anything different from the older generation except for the texting part.
Simply the media, the mode of communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem expressing feelings, that's been around for generations. There's nothing really new in that one. Yeah.
Well, it's like the whole thing where they started using texting as a way to reach people who are on the verge of suicide.
Okay.
That's where that came from. They were like, well, a lot of people don't want to call the suicide number and feel more comfortable texting. So maybe this is an avenue we should look at.
And so that's actually been established.
I used to volunteer for suicide.
Did you really?
You did what? What did you do?
I volunteered for suicide line. So I was a suicide counselor.
I did too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it fulfilling? Did you feel like you helped people?
I did. I definitely did. And mine was, I was trained through Supernatural.
Okay. I knew that was going to come in at some point. So that's good to know.
You were trained through Supernatural?
Dan's looking at you like, what?
Well, I don't know if you know the background of all your favorite characters, but Jared Padalecki had serious issues with anxiety and depression. So he started doing charities and all kinds of stuff, which is where the Always Keep Fighting Foundation came from. And so with his Always Keep Fighting Foundation, he was taking part in the suicide hotline. So him and I believe Misha got together and started offering up classes. You could get sponsored to take classes because it's like a $500 class to be able to handle stressful situations where people want to end their lives.
Wow.
And it was, it was for this. It was a part of the suicide hotline, but also it was for Supernatural fans.
That's
so
some
that
serious
was
targeting.
Yeah. Well, it's a big group. There's a lot of us.
Well, I gathered that. Yes. I mean, I may be one of the few who doesn't know, but apparently it's pretty popular.
Yeah, to say the least.
But how cool that somebody figured out a way to tap into that and tie it into helping potential suicides. That's pretty cool. And through texting, it was all through texting.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm also part of another app that helps the blind.
Okay.
So basically, you click on this app. If you're a blind person, you click on this app, and it calls someone via video message, and it calls someone, and you can ask them anything you want. Like, okay, what color is this sweatshirt? Or does this gray go with that gray? Or what does this label say? Stuff like that.
So it's sighted help in a sense.
Yep. I am a sighted person.
Yes. Okay. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The world of apps has really evolved.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
How does a blind person click the app?
That's the part I was wondering too. I didn't want it to sound stupid. So
with the TTY. So like when you click on your phone, it'll tell you what you're touching.
Yeah.
It'll be like you press a button, it'll say Facebook, and then it'll go into Facebook.
Oh, that's pretty darn cool.
The course, you also have the voice activation, so they probably would use that a lot, I would think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know,
Alexa, Siri, Google, everybody.
yeah. Siri, open Facebook, and you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if there was only a way for Siri to resolve the anxiety, they'd have the perfect situation, wouldn't they?
Well, anyone who watches that film Her might end up with a friend forever.
Oh. I haven't
Okay.
seen the movie, but I know what you're
I haven't
talking about.
seen it, but I know of it. Joaquin Phoenix basically ends up falling in love with his Siri, basically.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Okay.
I
have no idea
around it.
I have no idea where to go with that.
I was trying to wrap his head around it. Like, I mean, that's the epitome of being beyond skin deep, because there's no skin.
Wow.
Oh, that's deep. That's really deep.
You're really like falling in love with the personality.
Yeah.
That actually is going to happen more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say that, Walt. I've seen enough people marrying their car.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh,
This is real. People are falling in love
It
with and
is.
you know what?
Inanimate objects. There's
we can
it's a whole
judge?
show about it.
Everything has consciousness.
It does. Yep. In fact, you have to learn to be nice to your car. Otherwise, your car won't be nice to you.
Yeah, but then when you get a marriage certificate, it's a whole nother level.
Yeah. I don't think it can happen in every state. There are only certain states you can marry an inanimate object. I'm going to check.
Please tell me Massachusetts is not one of them.
What?
See, if my dad were still alive, he would actually fit in very nicely because he used to name his cars.
Well, a lot of people name their cars.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, this is like the evolution of that. That's like the early stage of it.
That's a big jump.
It's not that big. I mean,
Oh,
You go from, hey, this is Lucille, to, hey, come to our wedding. That's a big jump.
There's a few dates in there, you know, a few drives around the countryside, you know.
okay.
Couple
All
of
right. You can't
drive-ins.
actually do it, but there's like, you can have holy matrimony, but you can't actually enter into legal marriage contract. So you
Okay,
can have
good,
like a
'cause
pseudo
I was going to
marriage.
say, that's messy.
Well, it makes sense actually, because so far they have not declared.
California woman marries a train station.
I saw that. And I saw the women who marry themselves.
Okay, now I'm really freaked out. How? What?
It's all about
Married Santa Fe
independence
train
and
station.
what?
Paris. Someone married the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, he fell down the rabbit hole.
Berlin Wall.
He's gone. He's gone,
What? That was a woman.
most likely.
I don't know.
The best part is the look on his face as he's saying this.
I would love to be Dan's FBI agent, just looking at his search history.
But he has an active mind. That's what it is. He's
At the very
creative.
least.
You know, so he's going to come up with all kinds of interesting things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It would be entertaining.
that's true.
Your stakeouts would certainly be interesting.
What was the topic again?
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Oh, anxiety. That's right.
Well, you know
Anxiety
what
seems to
the
have disappeared.
biggest cure is, though, don't you, Mr. Wall?
What's that?
Getting the app and making sure you're plugged into your daily dose.
Oh, here we go.
That's a great way to get rid of anxiety.
It is. Yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff in there. We actually currently have 3 ebooks, an audio course, and a video course, and there's more coming.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's more coming. I don't know if you knew, we added an ebook. I added the book that a few of us published a few years ago, Manifestation Stories.
Mm-hmm.
That is now part of the LOA Today app. So yeah,
As it should be.
We've been prepping that, letting people know about that for the last week or so.
Mhm.
But yeah, by all means, you know, if you need to release some anxiety, there's no better way to do it than with the app, because not only do you get the last 25 shows all in a row there, but you also get a whole bunch of these goodies in the goodies section, probably headlined by Dan's ebook, The Money Game. I mean, anybody who has anxiety issues, it's like at least a 30-40% chance that money is involved in the anxiety. So I mean, they'll take care of a whole bunch of it right there. Isn't it true? I mean, isn't that
That
part
is
of what you
so
write the book
factual.
for?
That's true.
You know, I mean, that the whole premise of the money game is to release all of our fears about money and to replace it with an edge of belief that we're actually going to attract money. That's the premise, isn't it?
Mhm.
So yeah. But yeah, not just the money game. There's also Cindy Chavez's, I always forget how she phrases it, The Lovely Magician's Guide to Soulmate Success. It's a great title. There's also the new ebook that we just added, Real Success Stories of the Law of Attraction. And then there's Dan's sort of the Cliff Notes version of his book called Beyond Intention. And then there's also Linda Armstrong's High Vibe Living. So, and that's just the stuff that's on there currently. So definitely download the app and take advantage of all that because it will help to release a lot of anxiety. Plus, you can also send in a question or send in a comment about a show because we now have both kinds of forms on the LOA Today app. You don't have to be sending in a comment on a question form anymore.
You can just tell us that you love us.
You can do that. Yeah.
We like that.
We do like that. It's a lot of fun.
It
So,
gets rid of
yeah.
our anxiety.
Oh, definitely.
On our dietary choices.
Now, one thing, Alex, that I did discover with Dan looking on a couple weeks ago was to make sure to let listeners know if you're going to send something in and you don't want us to tell the audience who sent it in, please put a note at the top of the email.
Yes.
Who read the
Please put
entire story
anonymous.
and then she's like, please don't share my name or share the on the show. I was like,
Of course.
well, sorry about, oh God, I didn't want to share the story.
Oh no.
It was quite humiliating to say the least. But she-
Poor little face. I was like, oh, this is the story. This is amazing.
Pretty much what it was, yes.
Oh no. That sucks.
Fortunately, she was very gracious about it when I contacted her afterward, and all I had to do was just go in and blip out her name on the actual recording.
Well,
So
that just proves that we're live. We don't we don't proofread anything.
It also will teach me to read the whole email before I get onto the show. But
Exactly.
This is amazing. I'm going to read the rest of it live on the show.
But we did actually, there was another person who wrote in shortly afterward, a regular listener who had a message to share and was very kind to put at the top, please don't say my name. And oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that, listener. So
Yeah, just put
the
it
message
on
got
at
through.
the top.
Yeah, makes it really easy. But
Yeah.
that's a long way of saying, send in your stuff regardless of whether you want us to say your name or not. Just make it
Yeah,
clear
don't be
one way or
shy.
the other. Yep, because we like having that. So yeah, download the app if you haven't been downloading it. Use it if you haven't been using it, and get that anxiety out of there. We don't need that anymore. Get it out of your life. By the way, check us out on YouTube too. You get to see how Alex's purple hair is looking today.
Yes, it's quite glorious.
Yes, it
Kenny brushed
is.
it for me.
He did. Oh,
Yes.
he did. Nice job.
I still can't lift this arm all the way, so
Ooh, okay. Yeah, we got to work on that one.
yeah,
Hmm.
one step at a time.
One step at a time.
So I want to get back to what you've been dealing with, Alex, because you had a very interesting approach. You said you're trying to accept and to deal with the anxieties and stresses that you're dealing with that way. And you said it's had some help, but the anxiety is still winning, but you're it's extra innings and you're catching up or something along that line.
Yep.
So do you have any insights as to what it's going to take to improve the score, so to speak?
No, I don't. I think if I did, I would have improved the score.
You would have died already. Yeah.
Oh,
This is where we need to have the stream of David coming in and giving us some more ideas about how to maintain perspective.
yes,
But,
facts.
yeah. Well, I mean, I guess part of it, I can kind of recall some of the things that David told us and that the stream told us
Mhm.
that probably just sort of generically apply. Not the least of which is looking at your situation from 1,000 miles away. What does it look like from somebody who's not involved in your life? What do the anxieties look like? What do the stresses look like? And then gaining the perspective that distance gives you,
Mhm.
which is a different feeling from the acceptance. Acceptance is basically saying, okay, I got to put up with this.
Yeah.
But that's saying, there actually may be something good for me in this.
True.
Because that is always true. There's always a payoff somewhere.
Somewhere.
You just
Gotta
haven't found it,
figure out where it
perhaps. Yeah, but there's a payoff. Well, there's some reason why you keep attracting this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what that is, I don't know, but it's really none of my business. But
Yeah,
but the
I don't
point,
know it either.
you don't know either. Well, okay,
No, not yet. Not yet.
But the point is that there is a payoff. If you can find that payoff, that probably helps you get beyond the acceptance phase into whatever that next phase is.
Yeah. I think it's got to have something to do with, let me get all this drama out now before we get married. Then I'm
No.
smooth sailing for the next 60, 70 years.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah,
This
that
is
could be.
logical. I
Yeah.
award your unconscious desire to enjoy this smoothness by getting it all out of the way now.
Yeah.
I can relate in the sense that when my father died, I did all my mourning before he died. So,
Right.
That's certainly possible. It
Mhm.
can be done. You might want to be a little gentler on yourself.
Yeah.
You've
Well,
been
not
putting
taking-
yourself through the ringer here.
I'm not blaming me completely. I'm just saying
Well, I hope you're not blaming
Okay.
yourself at all. I mean,
the stress that we're all going through right now is
Mm.
just, a little bump in the road, and then it'll be smooth sailing after I'm done.
this is true.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it is the way to look at everything that goes on. Like Dan said, this is part of the human experience. Bumps in the road happen.
Yeah.
Are you going to ride them out, or are you going to get all upset about them?
Or it could be, I'll deal with this now, so that way when something worse comes along, or if it does, it probably won't, comes along, I can be like, well, it's not as bad as 2 surgeries in a month.
The payoff emerges.
And the surgeries serve a purpose.
They do, because this is so rare, never happened to anyone before. So there's papers being written and doctors being educated. So
Wow.
I like that part of it.
Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
You are at the vanguard of change for so many others.
I like that.
You might want to choose a different way of being on the vanguard, but I'm glad that there's something good coming out of this. That's good.
You'll say that now, but when I'm on Oprah,
Well, that's true. Yeah. Well, when you're on Oprah, I'll say, "Yay, she made it on Oprah." I didn't realize that your case was so novel. That's really something.
yeah, it's what is the numbers? 10,000 women get this, but get endometriosis, but I think less than 3 women, obviously, 3 women get it in other parts of their body.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's really wild.
Yeah.
That is super duper wild, in fact.
Hmm.
And they don't have any idea why it does that.
Other than it escapes through different parts of your body. Nope.
Wow.
I had some holes in my diaphragm they didn't know about, and that's how it escaped. So they had to sew those up.
That's crazy.
It's
Oof.
bananas. Every doctor that has come into my room has told me, I've never seen this. I've only seen it in the medical books. I only seen it in school. Like they just kept coming in my room, because they just can't believe it.
So you're popular.
Oh, I'm very popular. They know me by first name over at Brigham.
Well, there's also that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
Not
payoff.
how I chose to get famous, but I'll take it.
Alyx,
That's
you've done famous. Alyx got famous.
Because that definitely qualifies as a payoff. I mean, that's a pretty good payoff. You're getting a lot of attention that way.
Yeah, not how I wanted it.
Well, so you got to work on the ask a little bit.
Yeah.
Do they have like a prognosis for how long it's going to take to get through all this stuff?
Hopefully no, I still have another surgery, but it has nothing to do with the main issue. So
Okay.
this should be the last surgery, but we've already run into a complication from the first surgery. So
Oh
I don't
my,
think
wow.
this is over. Yeah.
Whoa, craziness.
Bananas.
It is. And I keep going back to, I mean, I told Dan about this, I think it was last week, how the first person who noticed this was Rita,
Yes.
not the doctors.
Nope. The doctors were baffled.
But if I remember correctly, they finally caught on about a week after Rita did.
No, it was like a month.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they probably never would have caught on if I didn't listen to Rita and go get a second opinion.
That's right. She did say that, didn't she?
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You're just reinforcing for me. I really want Rita to come back. She's kind of on a sabbatical right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She literally what she told me was she's dealing with some family issues, and they've been pretty intense for quite some time, and she needed time to get away from that. Plus, she kind of needed to reevaluate what parts of her life she wanted to keep and what parts did she want to change and so forth.
Mm.
So she was going to ask her angels, her guides, to give her that answer, and then when she had
Yeah.
an answer, she'd get back to me. She figured she'd get back to me by like the end of March. So
Okay. Well,
I'd still
fingers
have my
crossed
fingers
she comes
crossed.
back. She's a great
Yeah.
athlete.
Oh, she really is. Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's still a blow me away thing that she was able to nail it that well. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the best psychic reading I've ever been a party to.
Me too.
That was like, whoa. And I remember when she first asked me, do you know she's got anything going on? Because you weren't there. You
No,
I don't think you were even listening live.
I was
Were you
listening in.
Were you listening live? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. And she asked me, do you know if she's got anything going on in the chest area? And I said, I have no idea. I don't know anything going on there.
And at the time, there wasn't.
That's right. Yeah. You didn't have any symptoms yet, did you?
No.
Wow.
That's what happened a week later. A week later, I started having chest pain.
Right.
Mhm.
And that just set this whole wheel in motion.
Yep.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I was going to say, actually, I think I'd like to, for poops and giggles, have a reading with Rita.
Definitely
Sure.
should. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll if you like, I can put that out to her and just
Please.
see if she's
See
available
if
to
she'd
do
be
that.
open to
Yeah.
going into the depths of my manic mind.
Yeah. If you give it some thought about, is there anything specific that you want to address? She always does better when she has details to work with.
Yeah.
But,
I do like general and then dive-ins.
okay. Well, I'll send her an email and see what she
Please do.
says. Yeah. Shall I give her your email address too so she can get in touch?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Make a note to
Cheeky tete-a-tete with old Rita.
little note there. Yeah, I'll be glad to send it out. No problem. Yeah, she's amazing. Truly amazing.
Hmm.
So let's see. Anxiety. Where were we with that? We've covered a lot.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we've pretty covered most of it.
Where were we?
But that's
We
how
were
anxiety
everywhere
works.
and nowhere.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere and nowhere.
I was starting to get anxious about the fact that we hadn't covered all of it. No.
Whoa. The thing is, I'm not the only one that just starts dropping these bombs. When Alyx is around, that's when like the wit just goes to level 100.
Well,
It does, right? Alyx, am
It's
I
true.
lying?
No, you're not lying.
It's true. And I think he's right. It is your influence.
Yeah.
I was about to do the cheesiest, most crazy joke ever. You ready?
I'm ready.
Walt Whitman.
All right. Good night.
There's never a snare drum handy when you want one.
Walt Whitman.
Yeah, we get it.
Hamburg, Breaking Bad.
Oh, I was thinking Disney World. What?
He breaks bad into laughter and jokes when you're.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir.
Huh?
No.
Walt Wit. Wit comes out. Man.
This is getting worse as it goes on.
This is obviously one of the few things that Dan hasn't mastered yet, and that is knowing when to stop telling a joke that isn't working.
It works. You guys, the audience,
beating a
I
dead
guarantee
horse,
you, the audience understand and they resonate.
I won't dispute
Sure.
that.
It's me. I'm audience. I say no.
That's not very nice. Guys, you've got the app. Can you please show some support? Yeah.
Send it in. Yeah.
Let them know that you get it.
Walt Whitman, yay or nay?
Wit, man. You have to have the accent.
Oh,
Wit.
I got a salt bay. My bad.
Man.
Well, I'm sure we'll get at least a couple emails on that one. So
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy your wit that comes to the fore.
I
when Alyx
appreciate
is
that.
around and brings that magic.
I appreciate that too. I appreciate having her around. I like it. Makes life better.
100%.
Even when you're talking about supernatural and I have no idea what you're talking about, I still like it. It's good stuff.
Speaking of things, Dan, have you seen Coming to America 2?
I'm anxious about it
You should
Why?
be.
because just the premise alone just causes me confusion.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they went to the barbershop,
Mm-hmm.
35 years later, everybody looks the same.
Exactly.
They
Everybody should be dead. Yes.
It's been 35 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the barbershop scene was there. So I
Oh,
understand
no.
your
No.
concern.
You're wrong. You're wrong. It wasn't 35 years later. No, it had to be because he was only there for like a year.
He wasn't even there for a year. He was there for a couple of months.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They should be dead.
And then he didn't go on any dates, that kind of date. He fell in love with Lisa.
Well, it was
Mhm.
before Lisa, before the movie started.
But we saw the movie. It was his first time to America. I don't know.
Oh, well, it does get explained.
I
It
don't-
wasn't a date. It was what's his name's fault? His best friend there.
Hakeem.
Yeah. He had to take one for the team.
I don't get it, and I'm confused.
You should watch it, but just be prepared to be disappointed.
I don't want to be disappointed. I have like, she's your queen to be. Like, I've got the whole thing in my mind,
Yeah.
and I want to leave it there.
Okay. Then don't do it.
Thank
This
you.
this sounds like a very excellent example about why it is that resets of movies have a hard time succeeding.
Well,
Yes.
to be fair, that was like lightning in a bottle, the original movie.
Yeah,
So to try to replicate it again 30 years later.
that just makes it harder.
Yeah.
Maybe that I just stop.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yes.
We're back to
agree.
stop
Do it.
again.
Stop. Like, come up with a new idea.
Yeah.
Why are
Don't
we
reboot
doing
everything from the
sequels?
90s just because it's 30 years later. Like we
Like,
don't have to. There's
sequels.
no rule.
And do you know what I abhor even more than sequels that make no sense? Prequels that make the original film make no sense.
I'm with you on that.
Did
Mhm.
you see Carlito's Way?
No.
Number 2.
That was
It's
the
not the
prequel.
original.
Don't. Carlito's Way, the original, amazing film. Al Pacino,
Yeah.
great thing about like an amazing movie. Walt would even love it. Then they did like a sequel that was a prequel. It just made no sense. Just make another film. Just call it something else.
Yeah.
Just say The Adventures of Bobby in New York. Bobby the hoodlum has an adventure
Bobby in New York.
and finds love.
You know, what we're actually talking about here is producer anxiety. I'm not kidding. This is producing. How many producers, especially the executive producers, the ones who collect the money to make the films, are collecting money from people who want the same film made all over again, despite the fact that the history of making films all over again is terrible, because they figured they're going to make money because it made money the first time around. Now, that's a definite form of anxiety right there. It's one of the reasons why I never decided to become a producer, because I didn't want to have that anxiety. But
it doesn't work because it's like that was 30 years ago. The world was in a different mindset. You can't repeat the same thing in a different environment. You need a whole new experiment.
I mean, every once in a while one works, and so they can say, see, that one worked. It worked great.
I don't know
Well,
when this
nothing
has
I've
ever
seen
worked.
lately has worked.
When has there been one that's worked? Can we think of one that's worked?
Yeah, I can think of one that came out in the 90s, and it previously came up in the 60s, the Thomas Crown Affair. The 90s version was actually better.
Oh, yeah, but that was a remake. I meant a sequel.
Oh, a sequel?
Oh, a sequel.
That was better? Well, most people who are Star Wars fans say The Empire Strikes Back was better than A New Hope.
Yeah, but that was a whole story that was broken up into different parts. So like
That
when you
doesn't
look
count
at
as a sequel?
when you look at when they made the prequel 3, like episodes 1, 2, and 3 were pony compared to the
Right.
like Jar Jar sinks.
I thought he was actually a cute character, but that's all right.
Oh no!
It's a rubbish movie.
I like him. I've never seen the movie, but I like him.
Some of the most terrible, great actors doing horrible acting.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
I like some of the idea of like how they brought the thing and then they did the other thing, and you were meant to be the chosen one. Oh, this is how I lost my legs. I am Darth Vader. I love you, Padme. Oh. And they made Luke
And that was the movie in a
bit of a
nutshell.
cradle snatcher. Like she met him when he was like 10 and then had sex with him.
True. I've always wondered about that.
It's a little bit.
It was
It's a little
uncomfortable. Let's
Game
put
of
it that
Thronesy
way.
for me.
Yeah.
It was arrestable. Is what it was. They were just the other side of the galaxy.
Arrestable.
But suffice to say, anyway, they tend to do this, and I think there's almost, like I said, there's producer anxiety and also writer anxiety. I'm not going to do something original. I'm going to look into the archives of Movie Land and see, like, how many reboots are we going to have of the Batman movies?
Oh,
All of
geez.
them.
I don't think that will ever end, actually.
Nope.
Now they've got Robert Pattinson,
Really?
Yeah,
the
I'm not a
Vampire
DC
Boy.
fan anymore, so.
The Vampire Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Batman. No, you're not.
Now he's a vampire
You're
bat.
not even old
You're
enough to be
Cedric and
Batman.
Edward. That's who you are, right? You're Cedric, and then you were Edward. You're
Yep.
not Bruce. Stop it. Stop. Just write some new stories. Come up with some new ideas. The space of variations, the infinite potential universe is full of ideas.
But
Come
here's
on,
the
new
thing:
one.
there are a lot of people there are a lot of scripts that get written with a lot of very different ideas, but they don't get bought.
Yeah.
Because people are clinging to the old. It's fear.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the movie
I
business
know
doesn't
who
make the
does
same
it.
money it used to.
I know who does sequels better.
Who?
Pixar.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that's true. Their sequels are good.
Yeah.
Yes, Pixar have got it. They don't rinse out a story. No, I'll give you that. Pixar do it well.
Yeah.
Yep. I can't say that the sequels are better, but they're good.
They hold
Yes.
up.
They hold up. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think when a story's given some thought and it's actually like a story arc,
Planned out.
Mm-hmm.
cool. But when
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we made a story, we made like a series, or we made like a movie. Oh, it did well. Let's make some more money from it.
Yeah. They're trying to squeeze every last drop.
Just
Mm-hmm.
leave the drops in there, mate. Just
Mm-hmm.
go to another well, please.
Yes, I agree.
Embarrassing yourself.
But that also clearly illustrates what happens when you allow the anxiety to take over, because that's what they're doing. They're getting anxious. You know,
Yeah.
they don't dare try that new formula that hasn't been tried before. That could be a disaster.
No,
Mm.
they're
And to
going
be-
to stick with what they think they know.
And to be perfectly fair, from what I understand, most scripts are disaster. Most scripts are terrible,
Mhm.
which means you have to know how to read a script. I think if you're going to be a producer, you know, to understand
you gotta be
this is
able
a
to
good story.
See what could happen, what it could be.
Yeah, you got to be able
Hold
to
the
see.
vision.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
and then get the money behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Money.
That's
But there's some
that's the
interesting.
trick part.
I've seen some interesting movie concepts on popping up on Amazon Prime recently. There's this
Such as?
one with Salma Hayek and Luke Wilson that looked really interesting called Bliss.
Oh, I saw
where-
that preview. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. I was not interested in it, so I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to watch it. But she convinces him that they're living in a computer simulation,
Yeah.
and I think it looks like she gives him
Oh.
some kind of drug,
Yeah.
and then they start seeing. He starts basically seeing like a
Glitches
different
and
version of reality, kind of
Yeah.
thing. It looks really interesting.
along those lines, there's another movie coming out called oh damn, I can't think of the name. But basically the Spider-Man is in this movie and you can see everything he's thinking.
Ooh.
Like it's like he's got a 3D screen right above his head.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, and it's based in apocalypse world, so it doesn't really help when he's trying to hide from monsters or
Yeah,
know,
I'd imagine.
and he's thinking out loud, and then it's and then he meets a
Interesting.
girl for the first time. I guess girls aren't really, in the population in that movie.
Uh-huh.
We'll
So
keep you posted on that one, Alex.
I'm gonna keep you posted, because at first I was like, oh, we get to see what he manifests. Okay, this is cool. And then I was starting to realize it's deeper than that, and I was like, but is it? Think about it.
Can I stop now? Actually, I saw the trailer on that Bliss movie, and the thing that struck me about it more than anything else is that there was absolutely no reference to Bliss in that trailer.
Could Bliss be somebody's name?
I don't
Maybe
really know where
or
Bliss
the name
comes
of the
into it.
drug.
Maybe,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
could be
know.
the narcotic that
Maybe.
they're getting high on.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
But let's just say the trailer didn't look very blissful.
It did
We'll leave
not.
it at that. No.
It didn't. A lot of
Maybe it
apocalypse
was to
movies
throw
are
us
coming
off the
this
scent.
pandemic.
Well, threw me off the scent entirely. I was looking for bliss, and it gave me no bliss at all, so I was done.
I'm decidedly unblissed by this adventure.
Mm-hmm.
You would think after all this time I would get used to the idea that headlines are completely untrustworthy, but no, I still fall for the clickbait. Every once in a while, actually, I'll try to play a little game. I'll say, I wonder if I can find anywhere on this page, is there an honest headline?
Oh, wow.
Just to see if I can. So far, I'm 0-4.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I keep
I
hoping.
hate the clickbait that like you think you're getting new information on something and then it just goes back into the entire history of the thing.
God
I'm like,
almighty.
I know this already. That's why I'm here.
And I'll tell you, I mean, I've been doing online marketing for many years now, and so I'm very familiar with the whole clickbait phenomenon. And there's a piece of me that's saying, isn't this wearing off? I mean, it's not like everybody doesn't know what it is anymore.
It only gets worse, and I think it's worse now that we're aware of it.
I mean, and the thing is, the ones that are the really bad ones, they always brand it with their name, so you know exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. It literally says this is clickbait, but of course you have to click it.
I mean, they actually couldn't have driven me away faster by saying, you don't want to click this. All they do is put their name and I'm done.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm really interested to see what it's going to say. Like, what are you going to try and sell me today?
Well, if I'm
Me
really
too.
depressed, yeah, I
Me
might
too.
try that. But
It's like, I know there's never any value in this and I should just
Yeah.
unsubscribe. But the audacity still keeps me here.
Yeah.
But you're not getting my money.
But even the audacity, I mean, it's gotten to the point now where there aren't any boundaries that are uncrossed at this point.
Mm-mm.
Really, they've all been trod upon, smashed into the ground, So is there such a thing as a smear headline or a scare headline that we haven't seen? I don't think there is.
I'm sure there's been. We haven't seen it all.
Yeah.
Really?
It may
That's a
seem
scary
familiar,
thought.
but we have not seen it all.
There's
It's there somewhere, I'm sure.
new and dastardly ways to get us to click on stuff we don't want. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's there somewhere, I'm sure of it. I believe.
Kenny clicked on too much clickbait and got his phone hacked.
He
Oh
did
yeah,
what?
that'll happen.
Yeah. I tried to warn him, but he was like, no, this is about the coronavirus. I have to click on it.
Well, it's about a virus.
Yeah, it sure was.
Mhm.
Whoa, this is what I'm talking about. War level 100. Yeah, but it was about, and you're so quick on it as well. There's no lag time. It's
Well, she gives me such great tee ups. I mean, it just makes it so easy. It is. It's right there. How can I not take a swing at the pitch?
Amazing.
I mean, if she was throwing knuckleballs, I could see where it'd be disastrous because you can't ever hit the knuckleball anyway. But other than that,
Now we're too deep into the baseball metaphor.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let's just put it this way: it's the pitch where you think it's going there, no, it goes off that way. You know,
Oh, okay.
it's the alien spaceship pitch, is what it is.
Alien spaceship pitch.
Yeah, it just
okay.
kind of flies away. Yeah.
Ah.
Mhm. But
I might have to run, guys. I've got something that I was supposed to do. I didn't do it. I've just been reminded, like someone's waiting for me. So,
oops.
well, this has been very worthwhile having all three of us here. So, Daniel, we're gonna bid you adieu with a little bit of sadness, but we'll be hoping to pick it up again next week. So, yeah.
Well, I won't be here next week. I have surgery.
That's right. You got surgery, so we'll have to put the three of us on 2 weeks.
Well, you might need to get someone to cover next week because we are going to get Ethan's birth certificate, and they told us that we might be there all day.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's always fun.
Okay.
So we don't know. We have to go and get a ticket and see.
Oh geez.
Well, I know of I think I know who I'm going to ask. I think I'm going to ask Monique, actually. Monique Scott. She's been really enthusiastic about doing fill-ins.
Yeah, so someone can cover for me next week. That'd be great, and I'll be back the week after.
So, sounds good. So we'll have to postpone a little bit, but we're going to get all of the dope on whether or not this final surgery is the final surgery.
The final surgery.
See, I'm not the only one who's quick. I mean, look how quick that was. The words were barely out of my mouth.
And mine are hit and miss. Like yours always land. Mine sometimes keep flying.
I don't think they do, actually.
Mine sometimes keep flying. And when they fly really far. If yours doesn't land, it's like, oh, we'll see where you were going with it. With me,
that's just because you're generous. That's all that is.
Anywho, I've got to go, guys.
All right. Catch you later, Daniel.
Bye.
And for you, Alyx, all I can say is heal, girl, please.
I'm doing the best I can. The doctors did say I'm a fast healer, though.
Well, that's encouraging. I mean, because you've got a lot of healing to get done, so do it quick, you know, because we want you back. But good, it's been good to see your smiling face. It's good to see that you're smiling after all you've been going through.
Yeah, it took a couple of weeks.
I imagine it would. Yeah, yeah. Did you reach a point where you were beginning to doubt that it was all going to work out, or were you confident?
I've been doubting since the beginning.
Since the beginning, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't see,
challenge.
or still kind of don't see an end, but as we go more surgeries in, it's starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. All right. Well, keep looking for that light. It's there. Yep. And we're pulling for you. We're sending love your way. We're sending energy your way. So
I feel it.
You do?
All
good.
Good energies.
Good. Yeah. So lean on it. That's what it's there for. That's why we send it to you. Put it to good use. All right, good, very good. Well, I also want to remind people once again, check out the app. And we didn't do the YouTube thing. We didn't give you a chance to do your YouTube thing, and we really are supposed to do that. You know, so you got to tell people how to subscribe to YouTube. Otherwise, it's not a complete show.
Well, you go to YouTube, search LOA Today podcast videos, look for our smiling faces, click down below to the red subscribe button. Next to the red subscribe button, there's a little silver bell. Make sure you click all so you will always be notified when we are live.
Yeah, I missed that. See, I was trying to do my version while you were gone. It just didn't work. It just didn't work.
There's only one me.
There's only one. Yeah, you're the original. So yeah, well, see, now that's why you got to heal, so you can come back and keep doing that.
Yeah.
That's what that's for. All right, very good. Well, keep healing, keep getting better. We wish you a very successful surgery. We wish this the last one. We wish you a lot of healing out of that, and that it all just goes away. And you're back to your healthy Alyx self again.
Yes, facts.
Telling us about supernatural stories and obscure TV shows that nobody here on the show knows about, meaning me.
See, I can always leave it to Daniel. Me and Daniel on the same schedule.
You guys know it. Yeah, I don't know. That's all right. Keeps me laughing. Anyway. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you especially to our podcast listeners as well. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.